Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Letter, where we've sold a murder house, took our friends out to lunch. They weren't too happy for us at the beginning, but it all worked out.
Freaked out in the middle of a busy city.
Yeah, saw a zombie in the shop window.
Talked to some asshole that I'm pretty sure was trying to ask us out and was too chicken.
Yep. I kind of want to see how that gets resolved. Oh my god, I didn't realize the sheep on the bed.
You didn't see the sheep?
I don't think I saw the sheep.
Oh
I saw
God.
the cat.
That's a bat?
Or the cat bat.
Cat bat?
The cat bat.
I love the sheep. I pointed that out when you mentioned
yeah,
the cat bat.
maybe you did. I just forgot about it. I have been staring at this for way too long.
It's so cute. It's a sleepy sheep.
It is a sleepy sheep. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I'm up even before my alarm rings. If it wasn't for Ash's call last night, I'd probably sleep in. When 9 a.m. rolls around, I'm already heading downstairs where Ash is waiting for me in his car. His hair is a disheveled mess, eyes drowsy, and overall looking like he hurried to get out of bed. Or fell out of it.
For impressing me if you want a date.
Or both. He looks adorably rumpled this way.
Oh,
but I'm not going to tell him that. It only bloat his unbearable ego.
Good morning, Ash.
He makes a motion with his finger around his ear. Tone it down.
Can you even drive?
He answers me with a slight raise of his hand, a yawn, and nothing more.
Do you need some coffee?
Yeah, he's never been particularly fond of mornings, and for that, I'm thankful to every god in the universe, less mental capacity for him to make fun of me. There's the reason why mornings are my favorite.
Question, did he always have that cross necklace on?
Oh, I didn't notice. Man, I need to start, paying attention to details.
I feel like I want to go back to one of our previous episodes where he was in it and see if he has it on.
I think he did. I'm 90% sure. It doesn't take long for us to reach our destination, the small cafe situated in Luxbourne's busiest street, the same one I'd often visit with Becca for its cheap food. I've never gone here on a Sunday, and it's striking how different it appears without the usual weekday and Saturday rush. The atmosphere especially reminds me of something we also have back home, near the university I used to attend. I wonder what happened to it. It was being renovated before I left, so I never got to visit one last time. The place has always had a calming effect on me. But today, despite standing in a place similar to it, anxiety easily washes over me as soon as I step out of the car. I'm quite used to dealing with people I've never met before thanks to my work, but still, I don't know him. In spite of the fact both Ash and Becca have vouched for him, what will he think of me and my story? What if he thinks I'm crazy? Hell, even my own friends thought so. I draw in a breath to quell the panic beginning to rise in me. Oh well, only one way to find out. A few hesitant steps forward, and then Ash suddenly pulling me back by my elbow.
Hold on, scaredy cat, not too fast.
Without warning, he flicks my forehead hard.
That hurts. What was that for?
He's already walking away when I look up, and I hurry to catch up to him puzzled. I really don't understand this guy. At least explain why you're flicking other people's foreheads all of a sudden. So rude.
Get yourself together, will you? He's not going to bite. He's very accommodating, too.
I wasn't scared of him or anything.
Oh, okay, so he was kind of reading us.
You don't look like it. Didn't sound like you were okay last night either.
Because I saw a creepy woman in the freaking window.
It's true.
And
Huh?
What was
Believe me
that
anyways.
last one? Hey, don't just ignore me.
All questions and retorts die on my mouth once he opens the door to the shop. A cast iron bell attached to it chimes softly, announcing our arrival. The smell of freshly brewed coffee welcomes us as soon as we step in.
This place again.
I remember this place. Like the usual, several tables and chairs have been set up for the patrons, but most of the customers have foregone them in favor of the more comfortable throw pillows and bean bags the staff has laid out on the floor. Becca would love to know they have something like this on Sundays. She's been complaining how uncomfortable the library chairs are for a long time now. Ash leads me to a secluded spot near the window where an old man, probably in his 50s or 60s, is seated enjoying a brew and a book.
Professor Clark.
It's just Andrew now. I'm no longer your professor, Detective Inspector Frey.
Just Ash will do.
Yep. The guy, Andrew, looks up from his book and gives him a smile. A sheepish look crosses Ash's face at the older man's admonishment. More unusual in my opinion is seeing him appear like a parent has just scolded him. But it suggests a familiarity between them, one that goes beyond what someone expects from a simple student mentor. With another warm smile, he gestures for us to take the empty seats opposite of
Have
him.
you been waiting long?
Quite some time, but I come here early on weekends. Best time to get their first serving of bear claws. They're the only place that serves it here. I took the liberty of ordering for you two. I hope you don't mind.
The bear claw?
I thought it'd be best to talk over a decent helping of coffee.
That's fair.
I like bear claws.
Soon enough, a waiter brings us 2 more cups and sits down a basket of pastries.
Aren't you going to introduce the lady?
Ah, right. Sorry. Isabella, this is Prof. Andrew. He's one of my professors back at the university. Andrew, this is Isabella Santos.
Santos. Portuguese? Spanish? Brazilian? Mexican?
You ask a lot of questions.
Filipina, actually. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor.
Ah, your name carries a lot of history, Miss Santos. Just Andrew is fine. Don't do what Ashton's doing. He doesn't listen to this old man.
He doesn't seem to listen to anybody. I like that it says Sir Andrew. He doesn't listen to anyone more. Like, oh, there it is. The awkward tension typically present in first meetings dissipates after that. I was expecting someone strict and, to an extent, someone severe. But Professor Andrew Clark is definitely the opposite of what I have in mind. The more personable kind, similar to a grandfather who dotes on you at family gatherings. It's obvious why Ash has taken a liking to him.
Ashton tells me there's something you wish to discuss that I could help with. Let's hear it then.
I give Ash a hesitant glance, but he just nods and gestures towards Andrew with his head. He's leaving this to me. It's my story to tell, after all. I keep it short and concise. I found a letter in this old mansion. Now I'm cursed. Exactly as I have told Ash and Zach when they asked about it. I don't mention the name of the place. No use saying it now that someone else legally owns it. No use dragging other people into my problems.
I'm sure it's that letter I found, but I don't know anymore. I just want to know how to escape this nightmare.
Of course. We're talking about the one in Anselm Village, aren't we?
Ooh, smart guy.
How did you?
Don't look so surprised. There's only one place popular enough here if we're going to talk about hauntings. I once had a colleague who wrote about it and the urban legends surrounding the place. Years worth of study, but fascinating. It's a shame he passed away at such a young age. He would have done a much better job at explaining topics like this one compared to me. Ashton here might disagree, but it's an interesting topic in sociology, if you care to have an open mind.
Studying the science and theory behind it is completely different from outright believing in it.
You don't believe in those stories, sir?
Now, this isn't a question of belief. All I'm saying is things like these speak a lot about a place's culture and history. And it's not just limited to ghosts. Monsters, gods, you name it. Even you,
I
Miss
like
Santos.
this guy.
Yeah.
What about me?
How you respond to these stories. It tells a lot about you and your upbringing. In the same way it tells me why our detective inspector here finds such topics absurd. Interesting, isn't it?
My head is starting to spin from all this. I'm not the smartest person around, but I understand what he's trying to get at. I think. It's still too much to take in at once. I like to ask for help, but his eyebrows are drawn in a frown. If he keeps staring like that at his cup, I'm pretty sure it'll crack
And
soon.
there's still something you're not telling.
Didn't I tell you everything the other day?
Yeah, but you mentioned the rights. Then you proceeded to drop the topic right after. What's with that?
They don't have anything to do with this.
Rights. Luke and Hannah, right?
What?
Yeah, they're the ones who got the place.
Ah, I'm not surprised. They're the kind who gets what they want when they set their eyes on it.
How do you know them?
I'm very
From
interested
what
in
I've
that.
heard, word gets around.
Okay. A heavy sigh escapes my lips. Popular or not, they're just my clients, albeit a little pushy, but just clients. End of story. If she stopped pestering me about them.
I know you're trying to help.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. I don't think that's gonna lead to anything productive.
Yeah.
Funny as it would be, I think we're gonna get more information this way. What is it again that Becca does when dealing with a particularly difficult child? What is that? Oh, I just bumped him up. Okay. The pesky, annoying kind. I wish I could remember. I could certainly use the same trick right about now.
Ashton, look here. I know you're trying to help, but the deal's almost already closed. The papers are being prepared. Once it's done, it's over. I'm just their agent.
And when is that happening?
When what? Is there even a purpose to this line of questioning?
Your working relationship with them. When's it going to end?
About a week from now? It depends on how long the papers will take, but they want us to rush it.
Really? You're absolutely sure about that?
What do you
Yes,
know?
really.
Yeah.
Unless they want to buy a house again and want me and Rose to be their agent. If yes, then I don't see a problem with it. Now stop annoying me about it.
Don't accept it.
What? Why? It's my job.
Oh Lord, even my younger siblings aren't this difficult to deal with. Then again, Ash is far from a younger sibling to me. If you'd only spell it out, surely I'd understand. Why wouldn't we even have to talk about it right now? That's how it is, right? Find an even ground, talk about it like the adults we are. It wasn't like this before, but somewhere along the way, something has changed in us as people, as friends. I wish there's a way I could tell when or why. Instead, I'm left searching blindly for reasons. The next thing we know, we'll be drifting further and further apart. How frustrating.
Now, kids, settle down. We're not going to solve anything by shouting.
Sorry, Sir Andrew.
And we're not going to solve anything either if you keep omitting things.
Speak for yourself. I'm not the only one doing it.
You'll have to forgive my former student, Miss Santos. He's always been the curious kind. Many people think he's lazy, but it's actually the opposite.
I want this guy to hang around with us all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
I see that hasn't changed.
Oh, really? How is he back when he was your student? I'm sorry, I need to ask. He doesn't talk much about that.
And there's a reason why. Please don't.
Tried to sleep on the first day of class. He didn't repeat it after what I made him do when I caught him. Students like him are the easiest to deal with, once you know what piques their interest. I'd have to say, he's one of the very few who's actually interested in the subject, though. But there was this one time when...
By the end of the conversation, Ash looks like he's praying for the ground to swallow him. He's never been one to talk about himself. What I know about him are mostly bits and pieces I've gleaned over the years. He's an atrocious singer, he's bad at art, and he has a personal vendetta against mornings. Crap. Sounds familiar. Now it feels he isn't that hard to figure out after all. It's past noon when Andrew has to leave us for another meeting, but before we
Miss
separate...
Santos, a word of advice. Just keep in mind that when it comes to cases such as this, they aren't always what they seem.
Psychotherapy not included was the achievement.
Fantastic.
Naturally, the mansion in the letter was brought up several times during our talk, and though Ash is right in that Andrew offers a different perspective, he has left me with more questions than answers instead. What is she? What does she want from me? Is she ever going to leave? I kind of hoped we'd get a little bit more out of that.
Yeah, I know. But she admitted seeing her is the problem.
Yeah, that didn't help. They all continue to bug me after we've left the coffee shop. I don't even notice when Ash takes a different turn on our way back. We're going to the
Where
house.
are we going? You can drop me off at the park.
Guess. You have 3 chances.
I'm serious, Ash. Where are we going?
He doesn't answer, but shortly he stops the car in front of a small, nondescript food stall a little ways away from the movie house. If I wasn't paying closer attention, I would have missed it without a doubt. He motions for me to wait as he gets off the car and walks in its direction. Sheesh, if you want to buy something, just say it. No need to make yourself look mysterious. It makes you look more like a dork than cool. The wait isn't long, however. Soon he's walking back holding 2 fish-shaped cones in both hands. Ice cream parfait across the 2. By the time he's back inside the car, I've given up any effort to figure out what he bought. Not that it looks bad, it's actually quite
Here,
cute.
take it.
Aw, did you buy us ice cream?
I have to move my head back a little when he thrusts it at me to avoid the ice cream and fruit toppings from ending up on my nose.
What's this for?
That's adorable.
That's really cute.
My arm's getting tired. 5, 4, 3, 2.
With a wary glance, I take it off his hands. I still don't understand why there's a need for ice cream today. Nevertheless, I take a small bite. It's actually pretty good. It must have shown on my face because he chuckles as soon as I take another
Saw
one.
the place open the other day when we watched Zach's movie. Thought I should give it a try. It doesn't seem like a bad place to get food from time to time.
And you're giving me free ice cream because...
Do I need to have a reason?
Are you really going to ask me that?
Here's the thing with Ashton Frey. He does not just treat anyone to free food because he feels like it. He's that much of a Scrooge. Hell, he even asked me to teach him how to haggle once. Haggle. Of all the people who'd ask me that. I'd have expected such a request from Becca, but Ash, not at all. If I'm going to be honest, he looks a bit constipated with that expression on his face right now. I think he's starting to regret ever buying this.
The other day? The movie with Zach and Rebecca? Rebecca's there, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Anyway, during the movie, we, that's to say
Yes.
we...
Uh-huh.
Shit. Should have written down something first.
Come on.
Get to the point, Ashton.
Right. I'm sorry.
I
What?
like you. I'd like to go on a date. It's
I
not
think
hard.
I think
I'm sorry for, not getting to the point. I'm sorry for the other day. I got carried away. I said things that upset you. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry.
okay.
You get points.
Oh, okay.
Okay? That's all?
Oops.
That's all you're going to say?
That's fair.
You're not still angry, are you?
You didn't have to buy me anything. A simple sorry would have been enough.
But you got ice cream and a
Yeah.
fish thing. I would
Yeah.
be.
I bite into the cone again, a small attempt to keep myself occupied and relieve the heat crawling up my face. It doesn't work, but at least I don't have to look at him. Why am I feeling embarrassed over an apology? I have no idea. It's not like it wasn't called for. They were being mean, especially him, and in that fraction of a second, it hits me. He skipped his day off just for today. I should be the one apologizing and thanking him. Silence is an awkward company while we finish our respective snacks. There are words for this, for people like us, for understandings and sentiments like this. Yet, in this instant, they won't come. As promised, he drops me off at the park right after, phrases unsaid still hanging heavily in the air.
Oh, children.
In this weather, the city park gives off a lazier and more languid vibe than usual. Where children are usually seen running around and playing, there are now people leaning back on their picnic blankets, simply enjoying the afternoon sun. The smell of food drifts from nearby carts, and if the wind blows in the right direction, one would catch the whiff of freshly trimmed grass. Maybe I should try walking home today, to get my mind off things? To try and find the words somehow? I haven't done that in a while.
Thanks, Ash, for today.
No problem. Say hi to Rebecca for me.
Yeah, I will.
Even so, I linger. We both do. A mild, humid breeze brings the smell of dried leaves, warmed earth, and a far-off distant memory. A fall starts, and awkward first meetings, same place, same people playing the same parts. Funny how of all days, my brain chooses to remember it now.
Wait, Belle.
Ash exits his car. His strides are unsteady when he approaches me. Or maybe this is his uncertainty showing? I'm not quite sure. He's never looked uncertain to me before. Always calm, always sure, always collected. He stops a short distance from me, close enough that he's within arm's reach, but just far enough for his voice to be heard over a decent small talk, if this is what it's going to be. He fumbles for something in his pockets.
Catch.
The small bag lands cleanly on my outstretched hands before it hits the ground. I raise an eyebrow at him and he responds by shrugging and stuffing both his hands back into his pockets. Somewhere to the side, he finds an interesting spot to look at. Sometimes you have to wait, Papa said long ago. For once, this time, I listen. His voice is halting, hesitant when he finds it again.
My mom used to make me carry around one of those when I was young. To ward off evil and bring you luck, she said. I don't believe in this stuff now, but if it makes you feel safe since you're a total scaredy cat, then I guess it's okay to give you one to carry around.
Share your feelings without making fun of her?
Nope. Perhaps at that moment there aren't any words for it. I've never been good with those.
Oh, both of those suck.
Yeah,
I think the top one's less mean. The bottom one sounds like, I don't know.
Man,
These suck.
these are bad
Isabella,
choices
you
because it
suck.
it makes it I don't know how she's going to like
It's a negative
inflect
positive,
it.
or positive negative.
Yeah, like maybe you're not bad after all.
I think that's the better one. The other one sounds just condescending.
Yeah. How did we do? Yeah. Okay. I close a short distance separating us. I lightly, in place of phrases one couldn't spin together or answers too early to seek out, I lean over. And give him a little peck on the cheek.
Good
Words
job,
unsaid
woman.
achievement. Okay.
Good job, woman.
All right. Someone had to make the first move. The touch is short, fleeting, the kind that speaks volumes of boundaries we don't often cross as friends. Nevertheless, the thought is there. It lingers. In the gentle autumn wind that passes, in the empty space separating us when I step back and look at him with a smile. It's easy to express gratefulness this way, isn't it? At least with my own family, that's the case. For the two of us, I'm not quite sure. Did he understand? After all, gratitude is considerably harder to put into words when you spent the latter half of your friendship teetering between good-natured jests and ruffling each other's feathers. Seconds pass before he clears his throat. His face has gone remarkably red. Whether from the heat or something else, I can't quite tell. But he understands. I know he does. Because the smile on him when he finally meets my eyes is the gentlest I've seen him show.
No.
Gotta go.
No.
Got some reports
Share
I
your
forgot to
feelings.
file the
What's
other
wrong
day.
with you? There
Yeah.
might not be another chance.
See you around.
Murder.
We might be dead.
Thanks for the ice cream and the charm.
Don't lose it.
Every horror movie cliche
You won't find
right
one
here.
here again if you do.
He's gonna die or she's gonna die, and it's gonna be a broken romance, never fulfilled.
Yep.
I won't. I might move like I have 2 left feet, but I know how to take care of my own stuff. I'm not a total klutz.
I know. In Belle, remember that one time? Devlin Court?
Oh, I do. With all the clarity in the
You-
world.
At the time, when we... What I'm trying to say is that you can rely on me. If something... anything happens.
There's
Not
a
the exact
murderer
same
after
thing,
me.
of course, but you get the idea. I'll be around.
I'll keep that in mind. You're not that bad after all.
Before leaving, he waves at me one last time.
That was the worst goodbye ever.
The next time we talk, we'll be back to the way we are. Because at the end of the day, that's how things have always moved between us. What we're familiar with, what we're comfortable with. But for all that, it's easy to put my own faith in him.
You can be friends in something else. It works. Trust me, I would know.
I just hope I can keep them safe. Keep him safe. I wonder if the reason we were able to do that was because the was like so high.
I think so. I'm sure if it wasn't, she probably smacked him in the face.
Yeah. A light wind blows again, sending dried leaves swirling and the distinct smell of earth into the air. For the first time, the sunlight feels less harsh. Maybe a walk is good. I need to visit the grocery store too. Come to think of it, wasn't there an art store that opened recently near the park?
Don't go places by yourself.
Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot.
What?
The cat's name is Beruthiel? Or at least that's what his collar says. It's an odd name to give a cat, in my opinion. But it speaks grace, much like the one that carries it. It shows in the way he swishes his tail and his eyes follow my hands every movement. I'm not sure what he finds fascinating in me, to be honest. I wasn't the very picture of grace when he found me, after all. It was a bad idea carrying 2 heavy bags of newly bought art materials and groceries without help or a sure ride home. In hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have bought all these at the same time. I didn't even make it past the park. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I don't understand what just happened.
And now I'm suffering underneath the glaring afternoon sun, hunched up on a park bench and drenched in sweat, in the company of a cat curiously watching my every movement. All right, so we just bought a bunch of stuff. Now we're sitting on the park bench to relax because we bought too much stuff. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Back on the trolley.
Okay.
I hope it stays where it is. It's just a black cat, but back at home, they're considered ill omens.
Don't look at me like that. I can act graceful as well if I want to.
Why are you talking to the cat?
Yeah, not that I've ever acted graceful in my life, of course. Growing up with a rowdy younger brother and sister does that. Or maybe it's the opposite. Mama used to call me a little troublemaker before. Well, graceful or not, there's no use moping. A short breather and then I'm off home. Besides, it isn't like the company's bad, even if it's a cat, as long as it doesn't bite or crosses my path.
Where's your owner anyway?
He has one, doesn't he? An owner? That's what the collar's for, isn't it? A bandage is wrapped on one of its paws, though. I wonder what happened to it. Did he run away?
Well, if you don't have one, I won't be able to take you in. My apartment doesn't allow pets. I tried to bring one home before, a cat. Not black, of course. And Rebecca threw a fit before the landlady could.
I take a small packet of sweets from one of the bags beside me and pop it open. As I'm about to put one in my mouth, he meows. My hand stops.
Do you want one?
No.
He doesn't meow again as I'm expecting him to, but he takes his unblinking gaze as a yes.
Chocolate.
I shift the piece to my palm and hold it out to him warily. He sniffs it once, twice before.
Borussia!
It's Marianne's.
Ah, it makes sense. Like a good, properly trained pet, Beruthiel responds as soon as he's called. Recognition comes as soon as my head snaps in the direction of the voice. Miss McCullough's hard to miss, what with her height.
Sorry. Did my cat hurt you? Oh, it's you.
Oh,
Wow.
Nice to meet you again, Miss McCullough.
Were you harmed in any way? I'm sorry. Boruthiel's not exactly fond of other people. Even run away from the veterinarian right now.
Oh no,
we were bonding.
He was just sniffing my hand earlier.
My Boruthiel's a she.
How would we
She,
know?
all this time I thought-
Lift his tail and check it out, man.
yeah. The pausing conversation, if this can be called one, is uncomfortable. We're merely two people working different jobs for the same client. Frankly, meetings like this don't happen a lot, and if it does, a simple nodding of heads is enough. Still, trying to be friendly wouldn't hurt, right?
Talk about her cat.
Yeah.
Seems like a more friendly topic.
How'd we do? Oh, we did bad. Oops. Well, we're not gonna be friends with Marianne.
It's fine. I don't like her anyways. She's kind of a, yeah.
I keep my tone cordial
I'm
and warm.
actually surprised you have a cat, Miss McCullough.
And why exactly is that? There are a lot of people who have pets.
This is what I mean. Like, you don't know how she's
an
gonna
idiot.
like.
I was hoping she'd be like, "Oh, you have such a cute cat."
Right,
It's
not
so
like,
nice and trained. And,
Oh, you own a
Um,
cat.
Well, Isabella's kind of an idiot with words.
That's what I mean. Like, when we make a choice, I don't know, like, her inflection and how she says it definitely don't always match what you kind of expect.
Yeah, but not a black one. I'm amazed you're taking care of one.
I don't understand what you're trying to get at. Is there a problem with my cat?
God, no wonder we lost. I mean, we lost a lot of
No,
points.
not at all. She's very sweet. Just in other cultures, aren't they a sign of
Will
bad
you
luck?
shut your mouth?
Back at my home, it is. My grandmother used to tell me stories about it. And
Nothing has happened to me so far.
displeasure is evident on her face. Of course, I've forgotten that for other people, black cats are an omen of good luck. There you go again, running your mouth off, Isabella. I rack my brain for a way to remedy the situation, but she holds out her hand.
This is a good place to stop and end this conversation, don't you think so?
You're not wrong.
It is good to see you again, Santos.
Complete dismissal if I've ever heard one. Rip.
Well, she did it to herself. I mean, I'm sorry. She's an adult, so I gotta think she's in her 20s. At this point, you haven't realized there's just shit you don't say if it's from your culture, and you don't tell people black cats are bad omens if that's their pet.
Yeah.
Like, this is just common sense.
I watch her as she leaves, though she stops shortly before crossing the threshold, separating the park and the street. She faces me again, looking like there's something she's forgotten to say.
By the way, about the Ermengarde mansion, with my clients, it's the rights. I mean, I hope you don't mind me asking, but has the deal been finalized?
There's still a few papers they need, but the house is more or less theirs now.
Thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Wait, about the mansion, the
letter, the same one they saw. Whoever she is, she's asking for help. Someone. I want to tell Miss McCullough that the urban legends aren't just legends anymore. They're real. No.
No.
She is not going to believe me.
Don't mind me. I need to go too. Have a good day, Miss McCullough.
I hastened to pick up all the bags I left on the bench and ran as far as my legs can take me. In that moment, what I am carrying in my hands weighs far lighter than the overwhelming guilt trying to consume me. Home. I want to go home. Anywhere where I won't be reminded of the house. Of her. Of my own cowardice. Food tastes less appetizing tonight. A pity. One would think that someone who had been on a continuous binge of instant noodles would find a home-cooked meal enjoyable. But it isn't. Hunger isn't what's gnawing at me tonight. Neither are my sore muscles. The TV runs loudly in the background, but what it says barely registers in my brain. It's hard when the things you're trying to forget keeps returning to the forefront of your mind. It distracts you, eats at you, devours you. I wish this would stop. I wish I wasn't the one who picked it up. I wish it was somebody else.
In other local news, a woman was found dead in her home yesterday evening.
Wait, what?
Luxbourne police officials are currently investigating the crime scene, but has classified the case as homicide.
Who is it?
Huh?
The victim, identified as Rose Pamela Cooper, 33 years old, working as a real estate agent.
I knew Rose was gonna get killed.
All right, I think that's where we're gonna end the episode.
I knew it. I knew she was gonna get killed.
Oh, what?
Because she wasn't in your friends list.
Well, yeah, I guess that's fair. I just thought like she wasn't gonna end up like in the mansion with us or whatever,
Nope.
but
She was gonna get killed.
Holy crap! All right, so this is picking up, and we'll just have to see what happened exactly in the next episode.
Was she found in a couch? Final thoughts.
Yeah, that's the question of the day. Do you think she was found in a couch? Yikes. Anyway, that's gonna do it for us. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.